Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Alain. Want to say right up front that I appreciate everybody that joins and comments and shares and listens to the podcast and helps me get this message of Coffee with Alain out to more and more people, helping people stay safe, enjoy life, and be exceptional. So thank you, everybody that's helping do that, and keep the comments coming in. Keep them coming in, even if you're watching a replay, because I go back and check those comments as well. And if there's something you want me to talk about or a situation you want me to address, let me know about that too, and we'll work it into a show. Today, I have a Star Wars mug. You can see the lightsabers there. One of my favorite scenes in the mini movies, including Star Wars, are the training scenes. I love it when Yoda was training Luke Skywalker, preparing him, being proactive for what was to come. And I love that because way too often we have a society of reactionary people. I was talking Monday with a security officer out of security down there, big hospital network out of Arizona. And he was talking about how we live in a reactionary society. Something happens, everybody like, ooh, let's get on this. But then a few months later, it's all forgotten. And he was talking about violent incidents. And I've seen that myself. An active shooter situation happens. Sales of my book go up for a little bit. I get called to be on radio and television. I'll get called to do some training. If no incidents happen for a long time, which is a good thing, so I'd quit teaching this stuff if people quit hurting and killing each other, and I'd just teach communication and other skills that are way more important, I think, than preparing for violence if we didn't have violence. But since we do have violence, we need to be prepared for it, be proactive rather than reactionary. I have gone into many places to teach after someone was stabbed, after someone was killed, after someone was beat up. Numerous times, that's when I am called. That's when people want my book, is after something bad happens. And we need to be proactive, not reactionary. We need to prepare before something happens, so hopefully we can prevent it. Some of my active shooter response courses and part of that active shooter survive a shooting book is on recognizing things, hardening targets, and preventing anybody from getting killed in the first place. That's number one. Recognize the signs, get these people help before they do something terrible. That's first and foremost, and why I write about it and why I teach about it. But then it's also prudent to know what to do in a situation and be better prepared. The officer that I was talking to Monday, they're looking at both the active shooter training, the de-escalation training, and the reflex protect training. And he's looking at arming all of his security officers with reflex protect because it's a good tool for that situation. He was explaining that some of his security personnel, that they're issued batons, but they don't have maybe the physical strength or the training to actually utilize a baton effectively, because the training budget for certain security departments in the civilian world isn't quite the same as what it is for military and law enforcement. So you do have people that are not as trained on some of the tools, and you can train somebody much quicker and easier to use a defensive spray such as reflex protect than you can to use a baton or hand-to-hand skills. And that's why, giving one of these to my daughter or wife is much better than me trying to teach my daughter or wife the combatives or the Hapkido that I've spent years learning and training in, because they could stop a bigger, badder person with this from a distance where they're not going to do it with their hands or feet or other kind of tools. And the security officer is saying the exact same thing, that he needs this for some of his security, some of his home health care nurses and people, because it is a tool that they could use to stop violence without the training, the years of training that he has had in law enforcement and so forth, like I have had throughout my life. And so we have to be proactive training and tools and things before something really bad happens. Going to stop and say hello to Phil. I need to get a fresh cup of coffee. Yes, we all need fresh cups of coffee. That's how we get our day started. Unless you're somebody that likes something else. If you like tea or Diet Coke or just plain healthy water, that's a good one too. Jay says good morning. Good morning, Jay, and good morning, Vicky. Great to see you guys here. Phil says you're absolutely correct. Be proactive and live life aware, not afraid. Thanks, Phil. And Phil does a lot of coaching where it's not in the violence realm, but I'm sure that Phil has dealt with people with the proactive versus reaction in other areas, not just violence. When we're talking violence, it could literally mean life and death. Again, I have been called to help organizations after someone was killed. And I wish they would have gotten a hold of me before that incident, and maybe something I could have helped them with would have prevented anyone from getting killed at that organization. And I've also helped organizations that nobody in the organization was killed, but violence happened on the property or near the property. And, we're talking some of the big cities where, riots and different things are going on throughout the year. We've had a lot of them in the last number of years. And so they call me up because they're scared after something really bad happens. The best time to call me, the best time to train, the best time to harden your target, the best time to purchase tools to deal with a problem is before the problem ever happens. And if you can do maintenance to stop something from going bad, do that. If we can learn signs of violence or irrational behavior that might lead to violence and recognize that and get people help before they do something terrible, that's a key right there too. That's the ultimate, is prevent something bad from happening, and that is being proactive. But we are a reactionary society. We wait until something bad happens and we fix it. We don't change our tires till one blows out. We would have been proactive and saw that they're getting worn and ready to be changed and put new set on before something bad happens. But so many people put off things, and then they're reactionary when something bad happens. And we don't want to be like that. We want to be proactive in everything in our lives. We want to prevent bad things from happening. We want to be proactive and create good things. And when it comes to being prepared for violence and bad things, we want to be proactive and prepare right now, not after someone's been hurt or after someone's been killed. So that's my little sermon for this Wednesday, based on a talk that I had with a very proactive security officer who is a retired police officer, and he's making sure that his people are doing everything they can to keep the facilities safe down there and all the employees that work in those facilities safe. And I really like seeing that. I like seeing people call me on the proactive side, not calling me with these bad stories about something bad happening, and that's why they want me to come and help. Jay says, or slides on the snow. Yeah, you wait until it's too late to put on good tires for the winter. And again, being proactive, we make sure we have proper gear, proper tools, and we maintain our equipment, and we're prepared. And then we don't have to worry about stuff. Then we don't have to be afraid. We don't have to worry. We don't have to be any of that, because we're properly prepared. And then we go on enjoying life, and we enjoy it safely. That's the message for the day. Go out and make it a wonderful Wednesday. I'm going to hop off here, and I'm going to be training somebody with Reflex Protect here in a little bit. So I am going to get ready for that. And I hope you have just as wonderful a day and we'll see you tomorrow.